Here's the English version with a powerful, emotionally engaging opening, crafted specifically to hook viewers in the first seconds and suitable for storytelling voiceover videos. The flow is smooth, inspirational, and uses few line breaks. How to be happy with what you have. Have you ever noticed how the more we chase, the emptier we sometimes feel? In a world that constantly tells us to want more, to earn more, and to become more, many people quietly lose their peace. Perhaps happiness is not found in what we lack, but in how we see what we already have. Long ago, there lived a man named Elias in a small village where time seemed to move more slowly. His home was simple, barely more than shelter from the wind and rain, yet there was something about him that drew people in. It was not his possessions, but the calm that lived in his eyes. While the world beyond the village rushed forward, Elias seemed to have already arrived. Each morning before the sun rose, Elias stepped outside and breathed in the cool air. He listened to the birds, the rustling trees, and the quiet rhythm of life itself. While others hurried toward their ambitions, afraid of falling behind, Elias paused and gave thanks for the present moment. He understood that happiness is not something waiting in the future, but something available right now. One day, a wealthy traveler passed through the village. His bags were heavy with gold and fine goods, yet his face showed exhaustion rather than joy. Seeing Elias sitting peacefully by his home, the traveler asked, "How can you look so content when you have so little?" Elias smiled and replied, "Because I stopped chasing what I do not need." Those words stayed with the traveler. He asked to stay the night, and Elias welcomed him with simple bread and warm soup. The meal was modest, but it was shared with sincerity. That evening, the traveler felt something unfamiliar, a sense of fullness that had nothing to do with wealth. As night fell, the traveler spoke of his life, of years spent gathering possessions and chasing success, always believing happiness would come later, yet later never arrived. No matter how much he gained, it was never enough. Elias listened and said softly, "When your hands are always full of wanting, there is no room left to hold peace." The next morning, Elias invited the traveler to walk through the village. They met people who owned very little yet shared freely. A woman offered fruit from her garden. Children laughed and played by the river. Elias said, "When we share, we remind ourselves that we already have enough. Connection, not possession, is where happiness lives." Along the way, they helped an elderly man carry firewood. No reward was expected. Only a smile and a thank you were exchanged. The traveler felt a warmth rise in his chest, lighter than gold, yet more lasting. That night, sleep escaped the traveler. He thought about his wealth and how little comfort it brought. He thought about Elias, who owned almost nothing, yet lived in quiet abundance. Slowly, he realized that happiness was never hiding in the future. It had always been present, waiting to be noticed. Before leaving the village, the traveler made a choice. He gave away much of what he carried, keeping only what was truly necessary. With each act of giving, he felt freer. When he asked Elias for one final piece of wisdom, Elias said, "Happiness begins the moment you realize you already have enough." The traveler left with lighter bags and a fuller heart. Wherever he went, he carried the lesson with him. He spoke of a man who taught him that true wealth is found not in accumulation, but in gratitude and generosity. Years passed and Elias continued his simple life. He still welcomed each morning with awareness and gratitude. He knew what many never learn. Happiness is not about having more, but about needing less. It is found in simplicity, presence, and the quiet joy of sharing. In a world that constantly tells us we are lacking, Elias reminds us of a gentler truth. We are already enough. And when we stop chasing, start appreciating, and open our hearts to others, happiness naturally follows. Perhaps if you are feeling tired of running, this story is your invitation to pause. Look around, breathe deeply. You may discover that what you have been searching for has been with you all along.